The surprising truth about your brain and happiness: you've probably heard that happiness is something you either have or don't have. But what if I told you that your brain, by default, is not wired for happiness at all? In fact, it's wired to keep you alive and safe, and that's a big difference. Understanding this fundamental truth can unlock the key to lasting happiness, and once you grasp it, you'll begin to see that your current emotional state is not your permanent fate. This isn't some sort of pessimistic view, it's pure neuroscience. Your brain has a built-in negativity bias, a survival mechanism that's been hardwired over thousands of years to detect danger. This ancient system helped your ancestors stay alive by constantly scanning for threats, from wild predators to natural disasters. The brain was built to prioritize survival, but in today's world, that's no longer necessary. The threats that once kept our ancestors on high alert, like tigers, famines, and war, are rare. Instead, modern stressors like social media, work pressures, financial anxiety, and constant comparisons overwhelm our brains. And your brain, it still reacts as if these are life-threatening dangers, sending you into fight-or-flight mode, causing stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. Even when everything in your life is fine, your brain still seeks out what's wrong. But here's the amazing news: your brain is not a static organ. It can change, grow, and adapt. Neuroscientists call this process neuroplasticity, the ability of the brain to rewire itself. And with the right habits and practices, you can literally rewire your brain to process happiness differently. Let's talk about the 3 powerful habits that can change your brain and your life for good. Habit 1: interrupt negative thoughts to break the cycle. The first habit that rewires your brain for happiness is known as negativity interruption. Here's how it works. Every time you have a negative thought, your brain strengthens the neural pathways associated with that thought. This means the more you worry, the more your brain reinforces those worry pathways, making them automatic. Imagine this. Your brain becomes a track that you're constantly walking down. The more you walk the same path, the deeper it gets, and the harder it is to get off that path. That's why chronic worriers find it difficult to stop worrying. Their brains have created deeply grooved pathways for stress and anxiety, and their brains default to those pathways as a matter of survival. So how do you break the cycle? Every time you catch yourself in a negative thought, practice stopping it. Simply say stop aloud or in your mind. Then redirect your attention by naming 3 things you can see, hear, or feel in your immediate environment. It could be as simple as noticing the color of the walls, feeling the air in the room, or appreciating the scent of your coffee. The key is to interrupt the negativity and redirect your focus. This technique works because it physically weakens the neural connections associated with negativity, while strengthening new pathways related to mindfulness and positive attention. By doing this consistently, you can gradually shift your brain's default mode from stress and worry to awareness and appreciation. Habit 2: savor positive moments to strengthen happy pathways. Next up is deliberate savoring. Your brain processes negative events very differently from positive ones. Negative experiences are stored quickly and vividly, but positive moments often pass by unnoticed. Why? Because your brain is hardwired to prioritize potential threats and dangers, negative events over pleasant experiences. This is where deliberate savoring comes in. By intentionally holding onto positive moments for 20–30 seconds, you give your brain the time it needs to fully process and store them in long-term memory. Neuroscientist Rick Hansen calls the brain's tendency to forget good things Velcro for negative experiences, Teflon for positive ones. You might have had a great moment today, but if you didn't stop and really appreciate it, your brain likely won't remember it as vividly as it remembers the stressful moments. The simple act of savoring helps to transfer positive experiences into lasting memories, which helps to create stronger neural pathways associated with joy and gratitude. So next time something positive happens, whether it's a compliment, a beautiful sunset, or just a feeling of warmth, hold on to it. Don't just move on. Pause, breathe, and let the moment fill you up. Research shows that by practicing savoring regularly, you can begin to rebalance your brain's tendency to focus on the negative. This small habit can lead to lasting change and bring more happiness into your life. Habit 3. Play for the sake of play. The third habit that rewires your brain for happiness is intentional play. Play isn't just for kids. In fact, it's a critical component of maintaining emotional health and happiness throughout adulthood. But here's the catch: most adults stop playing. They think play is frivolous or childish, something that should be reserved for children, not busy adults. However, research by Dr. Stuart Brown, a leading expert on the neuroscience of play, reveals something incredible. Play, whether it's drawing, dancing, playing a sport, or just having fun with friends, produces a unique neurological state that no other activity can replicate. During play, multiple brain regions activate, including those responsible for creativity, emotional regulation, and social bonding. Far from being a waste of time, play is critical for strengthening your brain. When you engage in regular play, it stimulates the prefrontal cortex, the area of your brain responsible for decision-making, emotional control, and experiencing positive emotions. Regular play actually makes your brain better at being happy. It helps you cope with stress, boost your creativity, and gives you the emotional flexibility to handle life's ups and downs. So ask yourself, when was the last time you did something purely for fun, not for productivity or self-improvement, just for the sheer joy of doing it? If you can't remember, that's a sign that you've been neglecting this essential aspect of happiness. Here's your challenge: pick one playful activity you used to love doing as a child or young adult and commit to doing it for 30 minutes this week. Whether it's painting, singing, cooking for fun, or even playing a game, just do it. And don't worry about being perfect. The goal isn't to achieve something, the goal is to play. That's where the magic happens. Conclusion: rewiring your brain for happiness by practicing these 3 simple habits: interrupting negativity, savoring positive moments, and reintroducing play. You're actively rewiring your brain for happiness. It won't happen overnight, but with consistent effort, your brain will begin to shift its default settings from stress and dissatisfaction to peace and joy. Remember, your brain is not stuck. It's always changing, and you have the power to shape it. Start small and keep coming back to these practices. With time, they'll become ingrained in your life, and your brain will naturally process happiness on a deeper, more lasting level. You're not stuck with the brain you have now. You can build a better one, a happier one. So what are you waiting for? Start today and change your life from the inside out.